climate crisis is very much on top of us, and if we don't act now, my talk was not, I didn't realize that my talk is for inaugural, so I actually think it is different small problem. If you ask I'm looking at India. Two problems I'm going to talk about transport problems, which have large implications on first climate, but also on many other things. And they look like impossible problems, and I'm going to give you a very quick glimpse of a solution, a potential solution, or direction in which we can actually move like that. Overall, about climate, I'm going to talk about. So I'm going to talk about a very simple problem. This okay. Is it you did it or I did it? Once again, yeah, fine. So in Chennai, I don't know how long that takes to come from home, but most people who live about 10-12 kilometers, I find that now they are taking about an hour, 15 minutes to come to office. Same thing in Bangalore, Bombay, Delhi, it is becoming worse and worse. Of course, it's highly polluting. Most of us drive cars. All those problems are there. Now, what is happening? 2 hours on road every day, is that India's future? Is that the city's future? And remember that more and more migration is going to take place. It's only going to get worse. So, you need a conceptually different solution. Very often we just try to copy what is done in the West. If you only copy what is done in the West, we are not going to solve this problem. We keep talking about next 25 years, next 100 years, and we are going to travel 2.5 hours. Of course, some people say we won't travel at all, we will work from home, but that's a different thing. It requires tangential thinking. And some of us at SEAT, at IIT Madras Research Park, at IIT Madras and ITEL are been working on trying to find alternate solution. This is problem number one, and I'll talk about a problem number two also. But very quickly, this is what about a year and a half back, I sat down with the team and I sort of said, this is what we want. We want a guaranteed 20-minute comfortable ride. Guaranteed 20 minutes. 15 kilometers. More than 15 is a different thing. We want only green electricity to be used, nothing else. I want highly energy efficient. So forget about all this flying, this, that, and all that. It should be buildable in existing cities, not something that you can imagine and demolish and be able to handle peak traffic. Peak traffic or not today, but even 10, 20 years down the line. That's what we have done. And of course, it has to be affordable. I told them that it should be some lower cost than driving a two-wheeler. And something that people sitting in this room will be very comfortable in taking. I'm not only talking about very low-income people, but that's a kind of problem that we need. These are the impossible things that we need to pose. And of course, it may not find a solution. But when you pose these problems, then you start chipping in. And fortunately, we have come up with a solution which we are building, which we will be able to show to you in a year and a half is real. And so it's a pods transportation, personalized air-conditioned pods, which will get you there. It will move on rail. Why? Because 1/10 of the rolling resistance compared to the road. So we can't keep on moving large, massive transport on road. So 1/10 of the road. Number two, they will platoon together. They are individual pods, but they will platoon together. So aerodynamic resistance will only be faced by the top one. So minimize energy. That was the next important thing. And then green electricity to drive through rails. Now when you do this, pods travel on a dense, elevated east-west and north-south. Not exactly east-west, could be curved, but on roads. The important thing that this should be very small. The pod is no longer more than this and should be buildable on wide road as well as narrow road. So the narrow road which you otherwise try to avoid and traffic cannot go through will be the thing. Wide roads doesn't really matter. It is to be built on a narrow road at an elevated platform. East-west and north-south are at different ride. those of you who are in Chennai, if you drive on OMR, what they have done over last 6 months, there's a very bad traffic. What they have done is that there is no crossing. You can only enter or exit. All the way you come from Nilangara, from that place towards Holiday Inn, and you see there is no crossing at all. If you avoid crossing, a lot of congestion goes away. So no crossing, there are different heights. You can only exit and enter. Pods, therefore, exit and enter. Unique patented technique. So in a car, it is easy to exit and enter. You can just turn around and exit, and you can enter. How do you do it on rail? Now, all those signaling, track change will kill the whole thing. And this is where we have come with unique patented technique, which will enable us to do. Pods in constant communication with a centralized controller. We couldn't have done it without the powerful computing and AI algorithms which will decide the route. Pods journey will be autonomous once it is done. Pods exit or enter no more than 3 turnings to go from one place to another. And stations are there at every corner, east, west, and north, south. So basically, within your distance, if you leave from your home, within a short distance, 300 to 400 meters, there is a station. So you walk those 300, 400 meters, you put it on a mobile phone that I want to go there, it will take you to the nearest station. By the time you reach there, your pod will be waiting there. You enter the pod, and now pod will keep moving without stopping for 15 kilometers in 12 minutes. And again, you get there into 300 to 400 meters. Now, and pod travel in 12 minutes, user tech, we pretty much will show you that this is completely possible. A 30 by 30 grid is what we conceived of in Chennai. It looks like a straight lines, need not be straight lines, could be curvature, equal speed and capacity on narrow as well, and as I said, 2 stations. And pods are autonomous, tens of paths available, and travel at 75 kilometer average speed. So if you see, if you are going from one point to another, from here to here, of course this is one path, the other path is this, the third path is this, fourth path is this. So there are large number of paths. In fact, in any serious this thing, you can find about 20-25 paths. And given this 20-25 paths, the centralized computer will sort of say, okay, you are starting at 9:40, you will reach this link at 9:43. How much already traffic is there on that? You will add traffic. What will happen? So compute each and everything, and therefore decide to take one path or the other. And such that no link has more than 50% of the traffic, even in the busiest thing. And we have actually done quite a bit. We are looking at 360,000 pods in a busy hour. 360,000 journey finished in 12 minutes. So that's the kind of thing that we are talking about. And 2.5 million pods in a day. And we can, of course, do all kinds of other things to further enhance the traffic. And we built a toy prototype last year first, and now we are building a full-fledged prototype, scaled 1:5, and we will try to build next year the actual system. Now this is one of the systems, but let me go to totally another problem. We all talk about that our GDP is going to rise, which is correct. And today, what does it take? To move goods from Chennai to Amritsar, it takes 5 days. It takes 5 days. And our amount of traffic will go up by 5 times over the next 25 years. How are you going to carry the goods? Nobody is thinking in that direction. We can build any number of highways. First of all, the trucks will keep polluting. We keep talking about we'll make it electric and all that, but long distance trucking is not going to be easy. And even then, 5 days will become 10 days. We can build more roads, but that will not solve the problem. Goods transport take highly polluting, high GHG emission. So as I pointed out, the number of things will go up. So we need something which is energy efficient, etc. So what do we need? Goods container carried by autonomous carriage. So there will be autonomous carriage which can be taken within 100 kilometers of your final, take you to the 100 kilometers of final destination, and a container will be moved onto the carriage, and container will be moved out, and it should get there in 24 hours, again using only green electricity. So in 24 hours, again very similar concept, from your factory within 100 kilometer station will be there. This will be on electric trucks. Here you move the goods from electric trucks to a carriage, the kind of carriage that I'm showing there, and then it will travel within 24, much less than 24 hours, 16 hours end to end. We are talking about 200 km per hour average speed, no crossing, no stopping, and again getting there. Now, green electricity to drive transport, of course, use rail, use platooning, same concept. Zero congestion network, very, very important, no crossing end-to-end transport. Controller determines the route. That's again, if you would ask me 5 years down the line, could you have done routing for all of this? No, sorry. But today, we can do that, so we'll use the technology for this purpose. So 40 feet container, moving at 150 to 400, that's slightly wrong, should be 175 to 225. And unidirectional rail, no crossing, etc. Very similar concept. Every 100 km by 100 km grid, you bring it there, then you let the electric truck transport. And these stations can be outside the cities. So you can actually do that. And it can be built on all existing highways. If you look at the existing highways, I had shown you in the first, the number of highways that we exist. Thin highways, thick highways, big, wide highways. You don't need necessarily wide highways to move this, because this will again be built at a certain height. Now, one may only think the only issue will be, will it be low cost? And we have done a first level. This is something that we have only done a first level calculation, and we have found that again multiple routes, rail implemented on existing highways, including curved ones. Bridges on highways may need to be handled separately. We may have to build bridges more. And we did a first routing innovations we have done. We have done all leveraging 5G, 6G. All the stations are at the ground level, and carriages move on narrow as well as wider street, unidirectional railing, and ability to reroute traffic, and tracks are fixed, no track switching. That's a very, very important thing. And these are things that we are doing. Capacity and routing, we have done the calculations for, and all the simulation, 900 stations in the country, and we are able to carry 2.5 billion kilometers per day. Today, the truck traffic is about 300 million kilometers per day. So we are talking about 8 times more. We should be able to handle this. And the cost is going to be very, very low. We have done this. It's possible involving technological innovations. One may build through this, and last hop electric trucks. And we are looking at today, 40-ton truck is 100 rupees per kilometer for a 40-ton. For a rail, it is 60 rupees per kilometer. And here we are projecting, including the cost of infrastructure, taken at an interest rate of 12% and depreciation over lifetime, is going to be 50 rupees per kilometer. That's a key thing. Is it economically viable? Can we actually make that? Can we solve the problem of huge trucking going all over the world, country, and hurting the climate? This is what I wanted to present. These are some ideas. Again, as I told you, I didn't plan it for inaugural. I was thinking that it's one of the lecture, but we are committed to build something like that. IIT Madras Research Park, our seat of IIT Madras, ITIL, we will do this. It will take us some time, but let me tell you, it may appear all impossible, but we'll get there. Thank you very much.